Alrighty, guys. So today we have quite an interesting video. I'm here with Jake on Zoom, and Jake joined my program a while back now. It's probably been, I don't know, maybe a month and a half at this stage. But Jake's just going to explain kind of his story of getting into SMMA. I think you've been thinking about it for quite a long time before you joined the program, and then basically just your results so far and how it's going for you. So yeah, Jake, welcome on. Thank you for coming on, man. And feel free to share your story with us.
Cheers. So yeah, my name is Jake, as you know, and I think I joined the program about a month and a half ago at this stage. And I think for me, it was kind of because I've done like previous courses and stuff like that, and just kind of I've always had kind of like a general, interest in social media. Like I posted like videos from a very young age, and it was always like I always knew the content you needed like to basically reach that far, but I knew there was like such a massive gap there. So obviously I came across your page about a year ago, and I think for me it was kind of like, how do I take that to the next step? And I think for you, like for your program as well, and like especially your one-on-one support, I think that kind of took me to the next level where I needed to kind of go. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at the moment. Really, kind of joined it like thinking, how do I kind of take it from zero to no clients? No clients to obviously get clients. And I think with you and like the kind of the weekly calls, especially, were kind of a massive help, and especially with kind of the one-on-one Telegram thing as well. I think that previously, like I had a mentor before. That's when I was like starting to get into it, like just initially, and like it was just the most generic like answers you were getting from him, like stuff you just find on YouTube, like that would take you 2 seconds to find. And the thing for me was kind of like I was always struggling to pick the niche the service I wanted to offer, and I think he was like slowing them down. And you have to do Facebook, guys. This is the only service you can do. And I was like, what if you like, if you could he knew I had like content creation skills, but he just wasn't like push me to use them, whereas you did. And that's how I actually got my first client, was from using that. So I was like, great, the Facebook ads, like use what you have. And I think that's kind of what you do is like you kind of push the potential you have. So like if there was someone who's like amazing at Facebook ads, or there's someone amazing at sales, like someone you find the strengths and then you push them. And I think that's kind of why I found your kind of course so helpful. That's why I kind of signed a client in 2 weeks, because obviously you looked at kind of what I can offer and then went from that, So
yeah, man, yeah, that's a really good point actually, and I think that's key for anyone. Like, if you have an interest in something, or you're already like with you, where you already had the skills, like there's no point of feeling like you have to fit into the mold of Facebook ads. There is so many other services you can offer, and really like that, it's just exploring your own strengths. Because if you had just focused on Facebook ads, like you could be still waiting for that first client. You still could be
exactly like that's the thing. I think with Facebook, like I think like online, even on YouTube, I think like when people initially find SMMA, they like go to YouTube, how to start SMMA, and obviously all these big like kind of gurus gonna give you like your even like they do give free trainings on YouTube. But I think what a lot of them say is like the main service people think is I need to learn Facebook ads. And it just isn't the way. Like I think even you've showed yourself, because obviously you don't do Facebook ads with your own agency, do you? And like that's the thing. Like you showed that for other students, you don't have to push that. And I think that a lot of the people in the program as well are kind of like, I don't think even many of them are using Facebook ads, and there is a few of them obviously, because it's obviously the biggest service you can offer.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of them, seeing from my angle going on content creation, I think that even a couple of fellas that you kind of see in the call from like on a week-to-week basis, that a lot of them don't do Facebook ads. And I think that's such a thing that's kind of neglected as well, which is like obviously why I think you stand out, because I think that all these kind of gurus and everything like that, obviously you'd find some amount of people saying, they offer like they tell you to push a niche or push a service. But I think that for you is like you actually help them one-to-one on what they actually need to do. I think that's kind of just like the kind of USP you have, really, kind of why I think people would kind of benefit from working with you rather than someone else,
Oh,
So I think that's
yeah.
like you kind of know strengths.
No,
No, definitely, because like I've worked at like different mentors, different courses, and stuff like that. I just don't think there's anyone who does that bar what you do, and I think that's kind of something that's neglected. Obviously, Ireland is it's a tiny place for SMMA at the moment compared to the rest of the world, but I think that like it just is you prove your results really with the students, so definitely with me anyway.
Love it. And like I guess then, Jake, like okay, so obviously you've talked about the one-to-one was a big one for you, right? Just having
massively
having that kind of back and forth, and like that, just having that personalized approach of let's find your strengths and let's literally double down on those. Let's not mold into what everybody else is doing. And like, was there anything else that stood out to you, maybe in my program, or just even that you did yourself, of was there any kind of like mindset shifts or anything you started doing on a daily basis that kind of started to push you in that right direction? Or was it just consistency, discipline, or what was it essentially?
I think obviously there's consistency is a big thing in it, but I think that you could have consistency of doing the completely wrong thing. Because like I think that what you even said for like when we had our onboarding call, like I had technology as a massive niche I wanted to hit in, because obviously you hear these things that would like, obviously you did say in your program where, you know, find your passion and then go off that niche. But I think that, you know, general kind of mentors were going to say to you like, oh, just pick that niche and go off it. But I think for you is like the way your one-on-one support is so there that you were able to numb down what niche to go after and how to find them. And like even the method you told me, I don't know if this is in the program now, if it's for generalization, but like the kind of the Amazon thing you told me, big thing of this on Instagram now, big secret, like the Amazon thing you told me about, like I didn't know that before. And I found that like a major help to think that like, I think ads were a major thing there. And I was able to see that from what you told me. But then you showed me the Instagram method of like that, not the general hashtag thing, which wasn't really working for me. And I think I told you that about that as well. It like wasn't working for me. And I think just like the kind of small tricks you had, and then using them tricks on a consistent basis helped me a lot more. Even though I didn't get my first client from that, but I got my first client from different kind of mindset techniques that you showed me as well, you know? And I think it all kind of comes natural. But I think definitely the little techniques you show me that kind of make a massive difference.
Yeah, man.
So
solid.
Definitely.
And another good question for you, right? So you got your first client, right? So obviously it was the outreach that got you there, you know, so just literally getting in front of people, having the conversations. But when you got on the phone with that person, was there anything that you did that helped you sign that deal? Or was it just a good fit from the get-go? Or was there anything you did that kind of pushed it over the line?
I think it was just being simple.
Cool.
It was just like, because I think there's a call in you break down in the course, and it's like you hear so much of them talking to you, but then you only ask a few questions, or you just take it so simple. And I think the thing, like I didn't obviously have a call before that, but I think even for like an interview, like a job interview stage, I think I was like, you try to sell yourself so much. And it was like literally taking off them. I reached out to them because I saw their Instagram, reached out to them with like a simple message. Like before, I was even sending you kind of like the kind of structure I was using before. A simple message, getting them on the phone, and then it's literally just simple. They just ask me what I do on a day-to-day basis, or like kind of just about me, to learn a bit more about me. And it was just being simple, just saying, this is what I love to do, this is what I do, this is how I can help you. And it was just like that. And I think that's what people are kind of neglecting so much, is like, I think people kind of go off the kind of whole case study thing, oh, you can get such a high percentage of return on this amount, this. But I think it's just being so simple, saying, I do this for you. You know, I'm not going to guarantee you it works straight away, but over time it will work. And it's like nothing's going to happen overnight. But with these consistent kind of little things, and like that, it was obvious because this content is needed for what I was showing them. I was like, yeah, I can do this. Like, I showed them an example, obviously, but like when you show them that kind of little, even case study example, they can go off that. They can feel like he can do that, you know. And I think it just feeds off being simple, really, rather than just trying to,
I love it,
being Shakespeare about it.
I'm literally always saying that with the sales stuff. I'm like, you don't have to be this super confident, high level salesperson.
You don't,
You know, you just have to keep it simple, don't you? You have to ask the right questions, of course. And really
exactly,
listening to them more than anything. You speak, of course.
And it's just nurturing the relationship. Like it's like if you get in a call, it's not like the whole, you know, oh, I think I saw someone on Grant Cardone bring a salesperson up to the stage, and they were speaking so quickly. Obviously, he was nervous because how big of a guy he is. But it's just like they were speaking so quickly and selling their product so much. But like you could have just there, like, you know, stop talking to be like. But it's just when you're like literally the simplest things, like, oh yeah, this works for Instagram. It's like, oh, how does it? Like, it's just a simple conversation. It's not like trying to, you know, being like a robot. And you're like, they're a genuine person. You're trying to help them out, and like they're on the call because they want your help and they can see the value in your help. You know, I think it's just being simple and try not to sell yourself. Like, you know, you get them over the line eventually, with a bit of charm and everything like that. You know, that's gonna what happen with me.
That's it, man. You can't
be the Irishman. The Irish charm, like, he loved that, like especially a guy from the States, like everyone from America. I think that's a market as well, not tapped into enough, the American kind of market. I think that like they just love people being Irish. I mean, I'm not saying someone that is not as Irish can do it, but I think that you kind of just like kind of USP, you know, for yourself.
Nice thing to have. I definitely.
Yeah, it is exactly like as in, you know, obviously there's so many people successful in the UK as well, but I think that like in Ireland, there isn't a whole lot of people doing it.
No.
There's not. And I think that's what, like, because even from, being on, I think he's in the testimonial page on the website, that like so many people are asking me, but they're all Irish and they all want to know this because there's not enough, there's not people doing it, like, and I think that's kind of, we'll mentor them yet,
yeah, that's it. It's like there's space for everyone, but like that, if you're from Ireland, you've got an even bigger space because there's just
that's exactly there's not enough people doing it, like,
yeah.
100%.
Solid, man, solid. Actually, I'm gonna go into that Amazon thing real quick because I think that's a good little nugget to give people, just so give some value to people as well. So that was a funny one as well because that was just literally something that came. I think you voice messaged me. You were like, "Hey, man, I'm trying to find a certain type of business," and you mentioned something about Amazon. Of I think they sell on Amazon or they sell on their website.
Yeah,
I literally just spawned from there. But basically, the trick is if you go, let's say you're working with e-commerce businesses. If you go to Amazon, there's a section called movers and shakers. And this is essentially a section for like trending products and things that are getting a ton of traffic and a ton of sales. So obviously, if there's a trending product, like you would see with like a trending drop shipping product, right?
Yeah.
It's going to pop up on there. So obviously, if you can find that, you can then find all of these new businesses that are going to pop up in that new little industry selling that exact product. Because they're new, they're going to need marketing. They're going to need ads.
That's exactly, and they have the money for it if they're on that thing in Amazon. Because I follow a guy who does Amazon FBA, and he always like it was weird because he obviously like them gurus they have like, oh, I can help you find this certain product to sell, but every product he was showing on his Instagram was a technology thing. It was like these like little selfie stands or like even like, oh, I don't know, headphones that were like built in whatever. Like there was all these little kind of technology things. That's kind of way it kind of stood out to me because they're trying to sell over these massive brands, and where are they selling? And it's on Amazon. Like where do you go to get your next technology kind of little gadget? It's Amazon. So that's why that's like why I said to you, like, he's everything he's sharing is to do with technology. So I was like asking you, is there a way to find them on Amazon rather than just typing some general kind of keywords? But that moving and shakers thing is a game changer. Honestly, it's like, I think if you're trying to scale up from like, if you have a small client, want to go up, you might even get a client from that, I haven't done an awful lot of outreach for that, but that's my next step, to go on Amazon and do that kind of way, just because I was doing so much work with that client before. So
yeah, 100%. And like, was there anything then from, having the first client that like you learned, was there anything that like didn't expect? Or was there anything then that you expected and it went crystal clear, went to plan? Because usually there's a few things that...
Oh, so much. Right? There was so much I learned from it. As in, like, even I was even saying the weekly clause, however long I had it, I was like, this is draining me. But that's why it was like, because you did mention outsourcing in the program, and I was like, oh yeah, that's if you have 4 or 5 clients that you can't do all the work for them. But like it literally is draining. It like having one client, like I think the thing is when you get a client for, I think it was like 500 a month I got them for, they wanted so much content for that 500 a month, and I was like doing everything myself. That's why I was like, oh, I need to outsource next time, like when I get it. Like I just need to outsource right away, because I was like, oh, if you have 4 or 5 clients, they want 1 or 2 pieces of content per month. But they wanted, like, they gave me like 10, 20 videos, and they were like, can you edit all these? I was like, this is like a full-time role, doing all these. But I think it might be slightly different for like ads, Facebook ads. I think for content creation, because it takes so much time to actually make it like high quality. I think that what I learned is outsource straight away. Outsource somebody anyway. That like that's the one thing I learned. I know I did learn a thing about kind of communication, that a lot of them kind of people, like them big entrepreneurs, they work 24/7. And I was like, on the weekend, I was like, I'm a normal person, like let me do my thing on the weekends. And I remember getting a call from him on like, I think because I just muted my kind of Slack thing, because he obviously, I made a kind of Slack account and he added me to that and stuff like that, the way he talks to people. And I was literally like, I think what I was doing is, as a normal person, I was playing a game of ball at the weekend, put the phone down, like this is in like the local courts, and one of the lads said to me, oh Jake, your phone's going off there. And I was like, oh, who is it? Just like, and they were like, oh, this guy. And I was like, why is he calling me? I was like, why is he calling me this time? 4 o'clock on a Sunday. And he was like, have you got that video ready for me? I was like, I do have it for you. Give me a chance to send it. I was acting like a full-time employee for him. Like, but no, I did learn a lot from it, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think like that, like your first client is rarely going to be super smooth. Like it's rarely they sign up and it's a breeze and all of that, because you've got this whole new challenge. You sign a client.
Exactly. Yeah.
But your challenge now is, right, how do I manage this where I set the right expectations so they're not calling me at 4 p.m. on a Sunday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and how do I actually then deliver the work where they're happy, but I'm not working 24/7 to do so. So again, it's
outsourcing is the biggest thing. That's why I learned from the course as well. Is like not a lot of courses teach you that outsourcing, and I think that obviously I haven't got to that chapter yet because I haven't been in that position. But I didn't think I need to be in that position. I learned that from the first client, outsource straight away, and I think that's something that's completely neglected within the space. Like you just drain yourself, and like you can't do any more outreach. Like I was actually doing so much that I couldn't outreach again.
That's it. Yeah.
Like I think that you probably learned that yourself from even your first client or whatever like that. I think it's like literally you do so much work yourself to make it perfection, and then but when you have so many clients, then you can obviously hire people even from Upwork. And I think Upwork is the thing I've been looking at massively recently. Is like I think I applied for a couple of video editing jobs on that, but at the same time they look for one thing, but from the setting techniques you teach, we can obviously get them to be clients on like a monthly basis. So I think that. But once I get them, I'll outsource that then,
yeah, it's so key. And like that, I fell into that as well. When I was freelancing, the exact same thing. I had 2 clients, and like I was pretty much maxed out at 2 clients. I had to drop outreach completely. And, it's not a good situation to be in, because obviously if you're maxed out at 2 clients, well, like half of your income could go if one client goes. Whereas obviously,
that's exactly it. Like,
and say, you know what, I'll take 3 clients with the same amount of profit for yourself, but now you've actually got more security, right? Because if one client drops, you got 2 others, and then obviously you have a life because you've got people doing it.
I know, yeah. Like you have a life as well. I mean, you're not like, I know for your stage, like it completely is kind of big business focused. But when you're going to get to the stage where like you have your agency started, you have a client, you're like, yeah, but I have a life to live as well, Exactly. But I think obviously the more clients you get, I think the more motivated you get to kind of make it work. Because I think for me, I think at the moment I had like 1 client, I was like, oh, I can live a life as well. But I think if you get 2 or 3 clients, you're like, this actually is a motivation to push this way further than I need to be.
Yes.
And I think people get very money motivated when they kind of see, 1 client, they're like, oh yeah, I can live a life as well as doing this. It's just like a full-time job. But then when they get 2 or 3 clients, they see more income coming in. They see, oh, okay, I'm getting actually more than the fella down the road who's getting, his 2K a month salary or whatever like that. Yeah. I can actually make this a bigger thing. And I think that's what's going to come into it for me as well. I think as soon as I kind of grow it, I'll Jeff Bezos more on the
workers in
CEO of oh stop, yeah, I'd be like I'll employ you now. Like I was like, I can't wait. I think for me it's like the goal to hit is like when I know I've kind of got to a stage where I'm very good is when I'm employing someone on a full-time basis.
Yeah.
I know I always said kind of like if I had maybe like an office of people around me of like, an editor there, a graphic designer there, I was like, that's where I can say, go down to the parents, but like, yeah, this is what I do. Like,
I've made it.
I've made it, yeah. By the music, like, I've made it here because I think when everyone kind of saw I was kind of doing that, they were like, just sing anymore, no? I was like, I do, yeah, but I was like, this is where it's at now, like,
Yeah. I still sing, but this is paying the bills. So.
Exactly, yeah. There's no music and singing, like the gigs are gone with the pubs, but no, this is definitely where I want to take the life. To be fair,
solid. Well, look. Unfortunately, we actually only have a couple of minutes because we've got to hop on to our weekly coaching call.
Our coaching call, to get more insights, drain more your knowledge, like.
100%, man. That's what it's all about. So, Jake, thank you for coming on, my man. We'll definitely have you on again because I'm sure there's so many more learnings in the next few months and in the next.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. I think it'd be beneficial for people as well to kind of see where it kind of goes from one client to the next and where I kind of branch out from that. And like anyone who kind of wants to message me from the course as well is, and I'll be as helpful as I can be, with the little knowledge I have. But I said, look, I'll give as much help as I need. There's no problem that way.
Definitely like that. Yeah, if you have questions about the program, you want to speak to someone who's literally in there, who's got a client, who's making it work, reach out to Jake. He'll chat to you, give you some advice, and
no bother at all.
He'll let you know if it's not a good fit. It's not a good fit. But if you think you can get value from it, he'll let you know. So
definitely, 100%.
Perfect. All right, Jake. Well, I will see you in a few minutes.
Perfect. I'll get myself ready for the next call.
Perfecto. Okay, guys, so we just wrapped up the little interview with Jake. I know it's quite short, but we have our coaching call literally in 3-4 minutes. So we couldn't stay on too long, but I just wanted to give you that insight of someone who's in my program currently, who's in there working with clients and all of that good stuff. And just to get his kind of feedback of, what's it actually like? Once you get that first client, there's a whole set of new issues because you got to figure out how to actually deliver the work. and do it in a way where, as Jake mentioned, you have free time. He fell into that kind of struggle where he didn't outsource any work, and he learned that lesson very, very quickly on. So I hope you got value from this. Again, definitely reach out to Jake if you have any questions about the program and you want to listen to someone who's actually in there. His name is just Jake Ellis, as you can see from the screen. And if you do want to join the Six Figure Accelerator program, you can click the link in the description and you can sign up. You get a weekly coaching call with myself, you get one-to-one support from me via Telegram, and you get access to my full course, right? So templates, scripts, contracts, everything you need to get started. Now, if you still do have questions, you can click on that link and you can actually book a call with myself. You can ask me questions and I can ask you questions to see if it's actually going to be a good fit. If it's not a good fit, I'll tell you and I won't pressure you into buying. But if it is a good fit, hopefully we will see you inside that program. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope you got some value, and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you got some value and you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Alrighty, I will see you in the next video.